Hey guys, it's 21 Maxwell here again with another episode of TNA Making an Impact on the road to TNA Lockdown. Today we officially announced both teams. Both teams have of course 5 members each for that big matchup representing our owners of TNA, the babyfaces with Brandy Rhodes or Brandy Reynolds, and the heels with Carly, the former Maxine, or Katrina from Lucha Underground. 14 segments today, a lot of matches, like just getting over storylines basically, and you get adding a bit of heat to stuff and really just try to get some superstars over. I just noticed I need to move that to there. So with 14 segments, we'll kick on to it, and as always, I shall explain it as we go along, so enjoy. So 6,371 inside the Genesis Convention Centre, and we start the show with Chris Jericho announcing who is going to be joining him in his team. Of course, he is the captain for Team Brandy Reynolds, and it's going to be Chris Jericho, it's going to be Adam Cole, it's going to be Drew Galloway, and it's going to be Bobby Lashley. A B plus 88 for that announcement of those 4 members, obviously still one more to come. Mike Tenay was pretty weak in his job. He got the show off to a strong start though, it got the crowd hotter. Jericho came out of this looking excellent, with Drew Galloway performing poorly. Now what Chris Jericho also mentions is the 5th member is going to make his presence known now, and he will join Drew Galloway in a tag team match coming up right now. And this man is Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy is the 5th man. He makes an elaborate entrance that the crowd go wild for, but unfortunately only brings a D plus 53 rating. But he is the 5th member of the Team Reynolds, Team Brandy Reynolds, Team Chris Jericho, whatever we're going to call it. He's the 5th babyface. So we have our opening contest, and it's about that had some good wrestling and decent reaction from the crowd, and it saw Jeff Hardy and Drew Galloway defeat the BC, the Young Bucks, in 13:31 when Jeff Hardy defeated Nick Jackson with the Twist of Fate. Jeff was a weak link though, struggling to keep up with everyone else's performances in this match, but it is trying to get him in with these kind of athletes to get his performance up a little bit. But a solid B-73 opener. The crowd got the match hotter. Drew with a 71, Jeff with a 58, and a 74 and 70 for each of the Young Bucks. No skill improvements in this one. Overall, just a few negatives there, inconsistencies for Jeff and Matt Jackson, but giving the babyfaces that little bit of momentum before we hit the pay-per-view at the end of the month. And it is after this when we head backstage after a commercial that EG Snails finds some of the members of his team, and they are Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks. Now the thing is, it is a bit awkward to start with because obviously Kenny Omega chucked AJ Styles out of the Bullet Club in Japan, but AJ just mentions this on television, just says we may have had our differences in the past, but together we can all be unstoppable and we can win this matchup at Lockdown and we can take over TNA. So Kenny Omega and AJ Styles shake hands, and the BC, whilst not reunited, will be together in that matchup. So the B-73 there, and all positives in terms of dirt sheet. This leads us into our next match, which is about that had decent wrestling, but didn't have much heat, and it was a case of Brittani Knight defeating Gil Chem in 9:40 with a rib cracker, a C61. Brittani just showing she is one of the more dominant knockouts in the division. She did suffer a displaced olecranon fracture, I believe that's pronounced. Gil Kim and her have great chemistry and it showed in the performance. A 57 for Gil, a 62 for Brittani, and it continues the TNA knockout storyline and it gained it some heat. Brittani Knight is also improving her performance skills. A few negatives there, again both the ladies holding back in the low heat of the storyline, but again showing that Gil's going to be helping these girls go over and Brittani will be one of the top dogs going forward. Next up, we've got Ali, who's out with her championship belt, obviously the new TNA Knockouts champion. Basically, she's not really saying how steamy her pictures are, as it says in the text there, but she is going to be, we'll say, in storyline, in the cover of a magazine. Just say Muscle and Fitness for some reason, that's the one they're all going for these days in wrestling. Just say she's in the cover of Muscle and Fitness Women's, she's got the championship belt over her shoulder, she's the new champion, things are looking good for Ali. So that's a C64 for that segment there. You're probably wondering, why have I done a segment like this? Well, Siena wants her revenge. She comes down, she beats the shit out of Ali, and she just reiterates that she is the dominant knockout, she wants that title back, and Ali's victory over her was nothing but a fluke. So a D46 segment there. TNA Knockout storylines advanced, but it did lose a little bit of heat, but all positives in the dirt sheet column. Next up, and about that had some good wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd. We had Davey Richards defeat Mike Bennett in 9:51 with a Tiger Bomb. This get a B-76. So again, the Wolves are starting to get the edge over on Mike Bennett and Brian Cage. A good win for Davey Richards. Getting a little ounce of revenge here. He had a 72 performance to Mike Bennett's 65, and it does continue their storyline and gained it a little bit of heat. All positives again with our dirt sheets. Next up, an extremely short match. Shibata defeated Sami Callihan in 5:17 by pinfall. C+66, another basic matchup, just putting over Shibata. He gets the 74 performance to the 40 of Sami Callihan. No skill improvements in this instance, but again, short matchup. It makes Shibata look strong, it makes him look unbeaten. Continues to know the fact of like whoever's going to beat him is going to get a massive boost, and he remains as dominant as ever. But after his assault on Ricochet last week, Ricochet decides, this ain't happening, I'm getting my revenge. So he comes down and he beats the crap out of Shibata before landing his finishing maneuver, some sort of flippy thing, and we'll just say some sort of shooting star press or something, and he leaves the ring holding the TNA National Championship. But a good C+67 segment here, hopefully again the building of Ricochet as we get him to the next level. Next up, in a decent matchup, Rey Mysterio defeats Crazy Steve in 9:03 with a 619 into the West Coast Pop. Again, obviously it's going to be Mysterio and Phoenix challenging Crazy Steve and Abyss going forward for the Tag Team Championships. The C+67 brings out a good match in Steve. Rey Mysterio with a 68 to Steve's 54. No skill improvements, but again it gives Mysterio a little bit of momentum and it allows Steve to get a match up against a very experienced veteran. Next up, in a superb matchup, we had Chris Jericho defeat Stu Barrett in 18:19 by submission with the walls of Jericho. During the matchup, we had EG Snails come in and accidentally hit Barrett. That's a B78. This is your last man entering the team for EG Snails is Stu Barrett. But EG accidentally hits him because he wants to get the one up on Chris Jericho. But Jericho manages to use the interference to his advantage, locks in the walls of Jericho, and Barrett taps out. Chris Jericho has an in-ring performance of 79, Stu Barrett with a 67, and it continues the Y2 AJ storyline, which has gained a bit of heat. No skill improvements, negatives, the stamina and declining physical ability of Y2J, Barrett's motivation, and the low heat of him and AJ's storyline. Our main event matchup though, and about that had great wrestling and good heat. AJ Styles does have a matchup and he wins it against Jay Lethal in 13:56 for the Styles Clash. A B82 showing how phenomenal he really is with a great matchup there. AJ is getting better at his gimmick. Jay Lethal with a 77 performance to AJ's 74. So that's something that's interesting going forward, that Jay Lethal is bringing some great performances. No skill improvements here. Negative was literally just AJ's declining physical ability, but it just shows we don't need to put all our faith in these big names. We can make Jay Lethal bigger than ever before. And we end the show with a contract signing between Bram and Fergal Devitt as they get ready for the TNA World Heavyweight Championship match, which will take place at Lockdown. It's just a case of both of them end up signing the contract, for as per usual, these things never go off without a hitch, so it's a case of Bram throws the table, flips the table over at Devitt, beats him down, and it ends up in another brawl as they end the show. We don't want to give one of them the ones up because we don't want to keep this unpredictable. There could be a chance Bram takes the title. It's that way. It's like I'm trying to spring some surprises in this series, and I feel like the feud with him and Devitt, despite it not actually being a storyline in the game, but actually just like in my mind and in the series, this is a storyline. It could be a short gap before we move Devitt on from here. So a B-75. Performance of Bram was good. Callie didn't come out of it looking good, and no negatives, but overall a solid B81, which again is producing increased popularity and importance in all regions, And if you look at it there, the only real two negatives was Jeff Hardy's entrance and the post-match attack on Ali. Everything else has scored at least 60, which is good because that's getting a lot of stars over. And really we just need to be getting a couple of guys that are heading over the 70s to increase our pop. So it's looking good at the moment, and hopefully again when we get to national, this can only benefit everyone, the younger talents as well who are looking to get big pushes then and quick pushes. So, Daniel Bryan still with WWE. Imagine we brought him in. I don't think there's any point in bringing in somebody in a big contract like that that is down as retired, although his popularity could help us. Have a wee look anyway. And his request for negotiations is too small. Cool. Oh. Let's have a look then. I don't know if people can hear that, but I've also got a bet on Bet365. There's no goal in that game, so I need to check that. But yeah, popularity wise, you can see Brittani's at 44th, but how was that injury? That's the big question. 49 days, so she's going to need to be replaced in this big women's matchup. That's frustrating. We could look at Diamante if we do need another luchador. I'll shortlist him. I've had him in other saves. Had him in EWR back in the day. Apart from that, TNA Impact struck gold. That's good. The Mysterio's unhappy. Considering he just won that matchup, I don't know why I'd be too unhappy. Up to a 5.50 in TV ratings, so they're getting better and better. A lot of people watching our show then. And we are proud to announce that Jesse Goddard's will sign a new 6-month paper appearance deal with TNA. We're obviously bringing in Rey Mysterio with a new contract. But again, momentum continues to improve. Prestiges went up one as well. It's a slow but steady rise. The size, roughly about the same, although the Midwest is gaining towards that national level. It's just a case of getting everything else there. So as always guys, thank you for watching. It's deeply appreciated. Let's say if you've got any comments on the series, let me know what you think. If you get any predictions for the full card on TNA Lockdown, any people you'd like to see signed in the future or pushed in the future, please let me know. So your input, is always noted. As I say, we'll try and bring in any of those guys if they become available. So again, just let me know who you'd like to see come in. As I say, any comments, likes, subscriptions, shares, all that jazz are all deeply appreciated. And if you want to get involved in the TW hype, you can get involved with the Grey Dog Software forums and the Fantasy Bookers subreddit, which I highly recommend. A lot of good guys there. But until next time guys, cheers for watching. See you real soon. Bye.